Alright guys, let's roll to the quarry. I'm gonna grab a load of rock from my own driveway because it's muddy, it's making our vehicles dirty, and then we're gonna head back over to the farm. The one on the last video where I was forestry mulching, I ended up staying later that night after I cut the video, pulled all the brush out of the ditch, put it up on the banks. So today we're gonna head over, we're gonna forestry mulch all that, and then we're gonna clean up around the barn. But check this out, I wanna show you something. So you know by now this truck, it's my baby. I love this thing. And I spend a lot of time in the cab on this, so I'm trying to fix it up, make it nice. And the dash on this thing, it was old, gray, and just looked like crap. But I found this stuff called Cerakote trimmer store, and I used it on this dash. I'll pop up a quick before video here. But that's what I started with, and this is what it is now. And that stuff flat out works, let me tell you. All I had to do was take Dawn dish soap and water, wipe down the dash to make sure it's degreased, and then those wipes, they're Cerakote wipes, and I'll drop them in a link down below, go check them out. All I had to do was wipe down the dash, guys, and that was it. And I did 2 coats of that on there. And all it is, they're just wipes. You take them, wipe down the dash, let it dry, and then come back with a second coat, and this is what I ended up with. Turned out freaking nice. And it's not oily, it's dry. Look at that. So it's gonna stay like that. But let's head to the quarry. All right, we made it to the quarry, and they are busy. There's a lot of trucks here waiting. What's he honking his horn about? He was honking. He goes, I seen you filming. He goes, I was wondering what you was doing. He's gonna go check out the channel. But what I was saying, guys, these guys are super busy here, so I'm gonna be here a minute. We'll get loaded up, and then we'll drive home. We'll shift through some gears, hear some Jake brakes, and then we'll go do some forestry mulching. But guys, man, that last video was rough. I had all kinds of audio issues. I had the camera set up in a way to where you couldn't see the mulching head, so I lost a lot of good footage, and I did a bunch of talking about a status update within our company, which is, I want to get back into that now. So guys, I had a change within my company, and I want to go through that now. And moving forward, my videos are going to be different because I am now solo. So Fred, if you've been following along on my journey for a while, Fred's my father-in-law, and he worked for me for nearly 2 years, and he doesn't now. Guys, me and him had a long talk, and he now works for another excavation company. And the reason he doesn't work for me is all because of me. It has nothing to do with him. Basically what it came down to, guys, and there's a business lesson to be learned here. The way I was running my company with Fred and I, it was running me ragged. Like, I was doing it, and I was able to get enough work for the both of us, but it was wearing me down, because you see in these videos, guys, I'm only doing 1, 2, 3 day projects, and you can imagine the amount of leads I had to generate and the amount of bids I had to go out and do just to keep Fred and I both busy. And it was wearing me down. I mean, like a typical day for me would be, I would go out, work 10 hours running equipment, get home, go right to the office, start doing paperwork, sending invoices, calling leads back, pre-qualifying customers, sending estimates. And then the weekends I would spend going out doing bids. And there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't see, that nobody sees, that it takes to keep a business going. But it was wearing me down. I mean, it would get to the point where I would get home at night, and I would go in the office, and I would work basically till the kids would go to bed. And it really hit me when my kids started making comments like, Dad, why do you work so much? Dad, can you come play with us? Can you come play a board game? And I would be like, honey, I will. I was like, just give me a little bit, I'm busy. Because I just had too much to do, and 5 minutes would turn into 10, turn into an hour, and then I wouldn't spend the time with my family that I should. And my kids were paying the price, guys, and they wasn't happy to me, or they wasn't happy with me not being present. So I decided to go down to just me and keep doing what I'm doing, and now I only have to worry about myself and generate enough work for myself. So my daily life, as far as going out and working, is going to be the same. It's just the after hours is going to be cut in half, if that makes sense. Because guys, like, I had to make a decision. Do I scale up or do I scale down to just me? Because what I've learned in my 5 years of business, all right, we got to do this. Stand by. Oh yeah. That never gets old. But man, I when I stop talking, I forget where I left off. But what I was saying, I think, was, guys, my day-to-day is going to be the same. I'll still be out working, running machines the same. I'll just be dealing with less customers. And oh, that's what I was saying, guys. In my 5 years of business, I've learned that in the things that I'm doing, you either need to stay solo or grow past a couple of employees, because basically the situation that I was in was I was working in the business and on the business, and it was wearing me down. So I had a decision to make. Do I grow to where I don't have to work in the business, and now I have several guys working for me, and now I'm not running equipment, I'm just a man? Or do I downsize and I stay in the equipment and just basically, let's just say, create a job for myself, guys? And that's what I decided to do. I downsized to just me, and I feel like that is the best path forward. But if you are in a position like me, you're wanting to come out with compact equipment, knock out these little jobs, guys, it's really rewarding. I love it. I suggest just stay one man, because it takes a lot of running around to do this, to get these jobs and to do the bids. And I'm moving jobs almost every other day, guys. It's a lot. So it's, man, my phone is blowing up. Sorry guys, I keep getting interrupted here. If you want to grow into a crew of guys, in my opinion, what I'm doing is not the types of jobs you need to do. This is meant for one guy, an owner-operator. That's my 2 cents. Right or wrong, I don't know, but from my experience, guys, what happened to me was I hung in that in-between stage. Like, I had Fred working for me, so I was right in that growth stage, and I never grew past it. So I was in the business, working in the business and on the business, and it was too much. So that is my advice, guys. If you want to do what I'm doing, stay solo. If you want to have crews and grow and make a lot of money, then you're going to have to do other things. Bigger jobs, commercial jobs, things like that. Probably bigger equipment. But, I mean, honestly, guys, my driving force or my motivation in life is not money. It is happiness, peace, and my family. Not necessarily in that order, but money is not important to me, guys. I want enough money to support my family, and my kids are happy. We have everything we need, because basically, to get money, you're almost trading time for money in this line of work, in the blue-collar trades. So what is more important to you, time or money? That's the question. Ask yourself that. But that's my rant for today. Let's get to the house. We'll tailgate this rock. Back at the house. Let's go set these chains and tailgate some rock. If you're not familiar with tailgating, I'll explain this a little bit. So basically, this tailgate here, it hinges at the top. You can see the hinge, and it opens by these latches here, which is operated by air from inside the cab. So what you do is you set these chains to a desired chain length, which this comes with experience. And I know with this truck tailgating my driveway, what I have on this truck is 1-inch road rock. So I'm gonna set this as tight as it'll go. So 12 links if I can get it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is perfect. And then we do the other side. And then once I get this set, we'll jump inside the cab, we'll raise the bed about to the first stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll make it match. There we go. Raise the bed, get rolling, pop the gate, and then it spreads out on this apron, and then it spreads really nice. You'll see it. And this here, this is what I'm talking about. My driveway's really bare. I have a power line that runs over the driveway here and then again down yonder, so I got to be really careful. I've only tailgated my own driveway about 1,000 times, so I got it. All right, so I'm gonna raise the bed just a little bit. I always go up to the first stage, which is right. Come on now. There. I don't know if you can see that little bump in the video, but that's the first stage. So I like to start tailgating from this point. So I'll back up just a little bit. I always start with a rolling start. That way I don't have a little pile. Pop the gate. Oh no, it didn't pop. Okay, let me show you guys something. I need to do some work on this tailgate. It does this from time to time. Check this out. So these things are air operated. I'm not gonna get under there, but there's an air cylinder right there. And guys, I got this truck off an auction a couple years ago, and this bed is rough. I plan on getting a new one. But whoever had this truck before me, they did some weird welding under there. I'll show you sometime. What I'm getting at is sometimes the tailgate doesn't pop because it's rigged. But I have to do it by hand, so this is not going to be ideal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this camera back the way we want it. I'm going to hit it with the tailgate. I'm going to lose a little bit of rock. We're going to have a bit of a pile. Not ideal, but it is what it is. So what I have to do, and I'm not going to show you this because I want to get moving quick. I'm going to pop this tailgate and I'm going to run in the cab and we're going to get moving. And this is tailgating right here. I got to be really careful under these power lines. I'm gonna get that freaking tailgate fixed one of these days. A lot of times I'll get a little thin through here because I gotta lower the bed to get under this power line right here. But I'll fix it with the skid steer when I get it home. And raise it back up once I get past the power line. And this is 15 tons of 1-inch road rock, and my driveway is 650 foot long, just for reference, so you get an idea of kind of what a load of rock will do. I can dang near get my whole driveway with one load. Look at that. We'll walk this here in a second. That's it, and I'm at the house. Let's go on a walk. I'll show you what we got. So I'll come through here with the skid steer and clean this up. This part of my driveway was messed up because I'm always loading equipment up here on this spot, so I'm always twisting and turning, so don't judge my tailgating off that little spot. But this is what it is. This here, guys, this is this 1-inch road rock. I like this stuff. top coating driveways because it's 1-inch pieces basically, and then it's got some fines in it, basically crushed up rock, and it allows a little bit of compaction. So it's like you got clean rock, you have road rock, and then you have base rock. And the base rock has the most fines in it. The clean rock is clean, so road rock is in between, if that makes sense. And I really like using it on driveways. But this is it. You can see I had to lower the bed under the power line right there, so I'll touch it up with the skid steer. But let's go do some mulching. I have the skid steer warming up. We're gonna let it get good and warm, get the hydraulics warmed before we fire up that mulcher. But I'll walk around and show you this real quick in case you didn't see the last video. So I have several projects out here on this farm. This is my buddy's farm. I live just right over there, so I'm so close I just tracked my machines over here, and that never happens. So, but one of the projects I'm working on out here, this little wet weather creek here, it was full of trees and saplings and brush. I got all that forestry mulched, and anything that remained in there, I took the excavator once I was done mulching, picked everything out, put it up on the bank. So I made it as clean as I could. So now I'm gonna go through, get all that forestry mulch, and there's a deer looking right at me. Look at that sucker. I tell you, every time you come out and run machines, the deer just flock. See it right there? And then when you're hunting, there's none to be found. That's a good sized little doe too. Nice. Anyway, so I'm gonna come through, forestry mulch everything that's on the banks, and then I got more projects out here. But before I leave, I'm gonna clean up all this area where I was spinning and mess that up. And then we're gonna do a little more work over here by the barn. This barn here is cool, guys. This farm, it has been in his family for several generations. Well, he owns it now, and his great grandpa built that barn. That is freaking cool. Check this out. So I cleaned out the ditch on this side as well, and then I'm gonna mulch all that stuff up and then just clean up the brush around the barn. But that is the goal for today. Check out this barn, isn't that cool? I just love this old stuff. Could you imagine what it was like back when they was building this? I bet that was a definitely different time in life. But let's go. Let's get rolling. All right, let's do this dang thing. Let's start over here on this bigger pile. So when you're forestry mulching, this thing is like a loaded gun. You got to be careful where you're pointing it. This thing throws debris like 300 foot. So trust me, I found out the hard way. You got to be careful. I was out forestry mulching at this one property. It was a brand new home, and okay, we're all good to go. I was forestry mulching out around this home, brand new home, really nice. I freaking threw a rock through a really nice French door, and it cost me almost $2,000 to fix that. So I basically worked for free that job. So you gotta be careful is what I'm getting at. That's why I came over here and I'm pointing that way. And you'll see once I get through this, it throws stuff. And I'm watching in my rear view camera because I got a fence behind me. So my John Deere dealer was out today. They did a software update on this machine and the camera system because the camera kept flaking out on me and just going black. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see if that is fixed. There's so much software and computers and crap in these machines now, it's insane. But this is how you get rid of brush piles in a hurry. I'm trying not to throw debris in my own machine up there. Frickin' Tree Eater 3000. We'll come back and get that bad boy here in a minute. Once we get done with all this forestry mulching out here, we're going to grade the driveway over there. Right now we're waiting on, there's a camper sitting in the way over there, and apparently it is rough and the owner has no way to move it. This is a rental property, by the way, that my buddy owns on his farm. But the person that owns the camper has no way to move it, so my buddy's coming over tonight to move that camper. And when I talked to him, it sounded like it might be a challenge because the camper doesn't even have a jack on it. Crazy weather out. It's 60 degrees right now in January. That excavator is sitting in a very inconvenient spot right now. Careful, I'm starting to point at her house again. There's a gate behind me. There we go. So I'd love to hear some feedback from some of you other owner-operators out there about the change I made, and what's your feedback on that? I feel really good about it. And Fred, he's already got a new job. He's already getting with it, and he's actually doing more along the lines of the things that he's used to doing, which is bigger commercial jobs instead of running around with me grading driveways and doing stuff like this. So I seen him over the weekend. He seemed really happy. So I'm definitely gonna miss having the help, that's for sure. But what I like about now is, like today, for example, I got up, worked out, went and got a load of rock for myself, and now I'm over here, and it's about noon right now, but that's why I kind of farted around the house a little bit. It's because John Deere was over here working on this. And something else, this is why I buy Deere right here. Listen to this. So my dealer was over here working on this machine, and he was doing a software update, and he had some free time. So he said, don't quote me on this, but he went into some kind of tech board system that tracks all of my equipment, and he seen that there was a recall on that mulcher for the excavator, and I just got that. And you guys seen in the last video that I broke a tooth, and I don't even know how I broke it. And that's the second tooth I've broken on that. And he said that there is a recall on those teeth and bolts because they're weak and they break easy. So they're bringing me a new set of teeth. Boom. That is why I own John Deere right there. Love those guys. And we're going to Con Expo with them here in a few weeks, which would be cool. Go to Vegas with the old lady. Let Mama get dressed up, get fancy, and go look at some equipment. I'm sure she'll be amused. Yeah, the more times I go over this, guys, the finer it gets. So I'll call that good for now. I'll come back and get those stragglers. I want to get the bulk of this work done. So let's keep pressing on this direction. That was the biggest brush pile, so the rest of this should go pretty quick. So that'll be fun. Go to Vegas. They're doing my dealer. It's their 100-year anniversary with John Deere, so Martin's gonna be there. They're taking us, obviously. John Deere. They're doing a concert. It's just, I'm honored that they thought of us to bring us with them. That's really cool. So I get asked a lot why I switched from Bobcat to John Deere, and that is exactly why. And we'll get more into that in the next video. You know what, we'll talk about it now. And then I'll talk about it again, I'm sure, because I always get the question. But, so I started this company. My first skid steer was a Bobcat T650. And then I had a few different Bobcat excavators and guys, when we started this company, I didn't have brand new equipment, so I bought old stuff and fixed it up. And now I'm in new equipment. But so I had Bobcat equipment, and I even bought a brand new E60 from my local Bobcat dealer. And guys, the dealer support, I don't want to offend anybody or get into negativity, but it was horrible, like bad. Like, I would walk into the dealer and I felt like I was bothering them, like I wasn't welcome. It was the most bizarre thing, and I've got a lot of stories about encounters with this particular dealer. I'll just leave it at that. But so that was not good. And then what really made me switch was I had that brand new Bobcat E60. You know, we paid almost 100 grand for that dang thing. It was a really nice machine. I liked it, but we had an issue with it, and it was under warranty. And the dealer, let me backtrack. So when I bought that E60, they told me that if the machine went down for warranty work, that they would give me a loaner, basically keep me working. So keep that in mind. That was like a gentleman's agreement. There was like nothing in writing. You know, we're grown men. Learned my lesson on that. But anyway, so my E60 went down, and Bobcat, they had a backlog of working on stuff for 6 to 8 weeks. So they couldn't even get to my machine for 6 to 8 weeks. And I was like, okay. I said, can I get a loaner machine? And they said, no, but you can rent one. Guys, they lied to me. They didn't keep their word. They told me one thing to get me to buy a machine, and then when it came time to actually follow through with their word, it didn't happen. So that was it. I was just so fed up with being treated the way I was in the dealer, and then all that with, you know, their integrity, and And guys, this isn't all Bobcat dealers. It's just the one I was dealing with personally, and I got more stories. We'll get into those some other time, but maybe we'll. I don't know. Anyway, so that's why I switched to John Deere, the dealer support. Martin Equipment out of Columbia, Missouri. Holy crap, guys! Those guys, they have it down. I tell you. Anything I need, they are on it. I mean, it's like if I have any issues with this machine, any of my equipment, because it's all under warranty, they come out to the field, get me going. If they can't get me going, they'll bring me a loaner. And I've experienced it, guys. And they follow through with their word, and they always take care of us. They're very fair. It's almost like a partnership. And that's why I have John Deere, and all of my implements, everything I can buy from those guys, I support those guys 100%. So all my implements, all my equipment, my next trailers are going to come from them, because they sell Binky trailers, which I don't know much about them, but from what I understand, that's a really good trailer. So that's why I run John Deere equipment, guys, the dealer. And if my dealer, Martin, started selling Bobcat, I would buy Bobcat. If they started selling Kubota, I would buy Kubota. But if dealer was a non-factor, and it's just like we're just saying, what machines do you like? I've owned Bobcat and I've owned John Deere now. And out of the two I've owned, John Deere hands down. For many reasons. But now excavators, that E60 excavator was way more advanced. That 60P over there, it's very basic. Where the E60 had a nice big touch screen in it, and you could change hydraulic flows in the cab, and it was nice. And it had grade, what did they called it? Trying to think of what Bobcat called it. You could check grade in the cab, depth check, that's what it was called. You could check grade inside the cab of that machine, which was freaking awesome. And that was a factory option on that. So excavators, I don't know. But I do know that John Deere is coming out with a new 60 series machine here in the next year or so, which is going to be updated. So it's going to have a bigger cab, touch screens, and things like that. So I'm excited about that. And that is part of my plan, is to always be in new machines, because I don't want to work on stuff. So probably every 2,000 hours for sure on a skid steer. If I'm forestry mulching, I'm gonna trade it in, get a new one. So probably my track record, about every 2 years I'm gonna be getting a new skid steer, because time is money. And I don't want to be working on stuff. Stressful enough running a business. See, guys, you got to come through and get these little stragglers here and there. It goes pretty quick though, doesn't it? I love this stuff. I've probably been smiling this whole time. I feel lucky to be able to be out here and do this. I'm very blessed. If you haven't found what you like doing in life or what makes you happy, man, I suggest trying to find that, because it is a great feeling. I've done a lot of things in my life, guys. I did 20 years in the military, retired from that. I worked for the federal government, working in airports, working for the Federal Aviation Administration. Very rewarding jobs, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the things I've done, but guys, it was never my passion. It was more of I did it because it was a sense of security and it's what I knew and I was comfortable. But guys, I never had this passion before like I do for this, and it's a feeling I've never had before, and I want everybody to feel this and realize that I am no different than anybody else out there. I just took a chance and I worked hard. If you want to see my full story, guys, I put out a video a while back called This All Started with a Farm Tractor. I kind of tell our story. If you're interested in that, go check it out. But left my tripod out here still. I'll get that here in a minute. I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll bring you guys back when we get over by the barn, because this is kind of getting repetitive here. all done. Let's check it out. This mulcher had a bit of a vibration as it was spooling down. I may have a broken tooth on here somewhere. Check it out real quick. Usually it'll be pretty obvious. I just greased this dang thing and it sounds like it needs greased again already. This mulching stuff, man, it's hard on equipment. It's violent. You've seen it. I don't see any broken teeth. Yeah, it's fine. This is it. All done. Turned out pretty nice. When I get back over here with the bucket on the machine, I'll fix that area I messed up, that dirt. I just don't have a bucket with me right now. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up for the day. Tomorrow, the next video, we will be back. We're gonna head up in the woods right about there, behind the house. There's a nice sized pond, and we're gonna go up there and we're gonna fix some erosion. I've got to take the mini and the skid up there. We're gonna dig a borrow pit over somewhere in the woods near the pond, and then we're gonna move dirt over. We're gonna fix the inner edge of this pond. You'll see it when we get over there, but that is it for me today, guys. If you got anything from this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.